Hi, I'm so sorry to approach it like this, but you seem familiar to me and I can't place my finger on it. I've been trying to for the last 10 minutes, and every time I think I figured it out, I realize I'm completely wrong. So I decided it would be probably less weird to just ask rather than stare at you from the distance. Although now that I'm standing right here, I realize this is actually much weirder. Sorry. I know. I know people don't usually walk up to strangers and say, "Hey, you look familiar," especially with absolutely no context. Have we met before? No. Ah, okay. That would have made this a lot easier. Wait. Are you sure? Sorry. It's really rude. It's just that you have one of those faces. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I mean, actually, I don't know if this is a compliment. I forget I said that. Wow. This is going very terrible. Anyways, hi. Nice to meet you. Apparently, I'm the awkward stranger who interrupted your day. Thank you for not immediately telling me to go away. I appreciate it. Can I ask you something? Have you ever worked at a bookstore? No? Okay. A coffee shop. No, again. University? Maybe we have classes together or a class? No? Huh. Then why do you feel so freaking familiar? Sorry. I'm kind of thinking out loud now. You don't have to answer that. You know what's so funny? I was actually on my way out. I paid for my drink and packed up my things and everything. I stood up and then I look over here one last time and then my brain was like, wait, you know that person. You're familiar with that person. You've met that person. You've talked to that person. And apparently, I have not. I did not. And I didn't, or maybe I do. Maybe we've just crossed paths before. Maybe you stood in the same line somewhere, same bookstore, same coffee shop, you know? Or maybe we've ridden the same bus. Or maybe we've walked past each other on the streets. Right? Funny how that works, isn't it? Strangers sharing the same spaces, living completely separate lives, and never realizing it. Sorry, I got philosophical all of a sudden. Actually, can I sit down? Only if you're okay with this. Thanks. I promise I won't stay long. It just, well, now I'm curious. Huh, yeah. Sitting here definitely isn't helping. Now you seem even more familiar. Maybe it's not your face. Maybe it's your vibe, you know? Maybe it's your vibe. Maybe you have this. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. Vibe is such a silly word. I don't know how else to explain it. You just feel so familiar, comfortable, like talking to someone you've known longer than 5 minutes. Wow, wow, that sounds absolutely strange when I say it out loud. Thanks for not looking alarmed at all. That's very encouraging. You're encouraging me right now to blabber on. Are you always this patient with someone? Especially to a stranger? Because if some random stranger sat down and started rambling at me like this, I'd probably be concerned and call the police. Yeah, probably I would do that. See, that's another thing. You smiled. You smiled. And somehow that makes me less nervous. Very weird. Very odd. Usually, I'm the one trying to make other people comfortable, but right now, I feel like you're doing all the work. You're doing all the work. Thank you, genuinely, thank you. Maybe that's it. Maybe you remind me of someone, not someone specific, just a feeling of a person who gives me comfort. Do you ever had that happen to you? Where a song reminds you the time in your life, maybe you can't remember the exact memory, only the emotions attached to it. And that's what this feels like. You remind me of something warm, like, yeah, like a place I've been before, a conversation I can't quite remember, something comfortable. Sorry, sure, I'm not trying to be poetic. It just came out that way. Wow, I really walked over here intending to ask one question, and now I've been talking for like, how long has it been? Seriously, seriously, that long? I am so sorry. You've been basically held hostage by my inability to stop asking questions. What? What? You're enjoying the conversation? Really? Huh? That's unexpected, but quite nice of you. Really nice, actually. Can I confess something? When I first walked over here, I was hoping we knew each other because then there would be like a reason for why I wanted to talk to you, But now I'm kind of glad we didn't because if we already met, then this wouldn't be happening right now. And honestly, I think I would have regretted walking away without saying anything. So, even if we've never met before, even if my brain completely made up this whole you look familiar thing, I'm glad I came over. Because you seem nice, and talking to you feels easy, surprisingly rare. There it is. Now I've finally know what's bothering me. It wasn't that you look familiar. It was just that you felt familiar. Like the kind of person I would have wanted to know already. And now that I met you, I'm okay with the fact that we were like totally strangers like 5 minutes ago because we don't have to be strangers anymore, right? Sorry, that sounded a lot more smoother in my head. And then it just came out of my mouth. And oh wow, wow, I am nervous again. That's impressive. I somehow managed to go from nervous to comfortable and then back to nervous again in all like a span of one conversation. I'm almost never like this. Well, almost the whole talking to strangers thing. Okay, that's not entirely true. I talk to strangers all the time, like cashiers, baristas, people asking for directions, the occasional people whose dogs decided we're best friends. But this here, right here, this is very different. This is intentional. Usually, I need a reason, a practical one, something that makes sense. But today, I just saw you, and suddenly my day had a side quest. Sorry, I've been playing too many games lately, but that's what it felt like. Like I was supposed to come over here, not in some dramatic fate kind of way, just one of those little moments where you think, if I don't do this, I'll be wondering about it all day. And I hate wondering. Actually, that is also a lie too. I do love wondering. I just hate not finding the answers to the things that I wonder about. Which is why this whole thing was like, it was driving me crazy. Because now I know we haven't met before, and somehow that's created even more questions. Like, what are you doing here? Wait, no. That sounded so suspicious. Forget I asked that. I mean, not specifically here. Not the exact location. Not the schedule. Not your personal secrets. Not your personal life. Oh, wow. I'm making this worse. I mean, who are you? Okay, um, that sounded more intense. Oh, maybe what I'm trying to ask is, what kind of person are you? Because you've been sitting here this whole time, listening to me ramble, and somehow you still haven't look annoyed, which tells me one of two things. Either you're incredibly kind, or you're secretly judging me and just very good at hiding it. Kind. That's good. That's good. That's good. Because if it was the second one, I'd be like, I think I would have moved to another country, change my name, probably change a lot of things. So tell me something. Anything. Huh? Huh? Wow. Oh, really? Wow, that's very interesting. I would have never guessed that. See? See, this is nice. This is nice. Now it feels like an actual conversation instead of me accidentally performing a one person podcast. Oh no. Was I doing that? Don't answer that. You know what's funny? When I first sat down, I was convinced I'd leave after a minute or two, just enough time to apologize, laugh awkwardly, and then disappear forever. You know? But now I'm kind of hoping neither of us has somewhere urgent to go. I'm selfish, I know, but that's rare, right? Finding someone you click with, even a little. Most conversation feels like work. Not bad work, just work. You search for topics, feel silence, and then think about what you're gonna say next. But this feels easy. And that's a bit dangerous if you think about it. Because easy conversations have a habit of making time disappear. Kind of which, how long has it been now? No way. Wow. Wow. Okay, that's mildly concerning. I genuinely thought it has been like 10 minutes? Huh. Huh. I guess that's a good sign. You know, I think Anchor Me would have been terrified of this. Sitting next to someone new, having a conversation with no goal, no reason, no expectation. Just because I wanted to. Lately I've been trying to do things that scares me a little. Not big scary things. I'm not jumping out of an airplane anytime soon. But it is one of my bucket list though. But for now, just little things. Things that makes life less predictable. And honestly, walking over here might be one of the bravest thing I've done all week. That's either inspiring or very embarrassing. And I haven't decided which. Probably both. Maybe both. Can I ask something else? If I hadn't come over here, would you have remembered me? I know, such a weird question, but think about it. If I had just walked out of the door, if we never spoke, would I have become one of those people you vaguely remember about? Going like, oh yeah, there was somebody sitting across the room. And then eventually you'd forget. And then we'd go back to being strangers. That's kind of wild, right? How close people come to know each other and then don't. Whole friendships, whole stories, entire chapters of life. All missed because nobody said hello. Which is funny. Because all I said earlier was, you look familiar. And somehow, we're here now.